Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our /ProRevenge. In today's episode, bully me into selling you my car? You pissed off the wrong mama bear. 10 words or less? Okay. Wedding snack down. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Bully me into selling you my car? You pissed off the wrong mama bear. So, about 8 years ago, I'm selling a used car. Engine light was on, the AC needed recharging, and the fuel pump or something was out. So I go to my local, trusted, sales site. Ad goes up with a few pictures and the words, "I work weird hours so I may not be able to accept a phone call. Please only text me." Yay to working swings and midnights, right? 'Twas actually college classes, but same thing for me. So a few days in, I get a pretty standard text, "Hi, I'm Matt. Is your car still for sale?" Matt isn't his real name, but you get the idea. So text back that it is. A few standard texts about price, why is the engine light on, who did you get the quote from, I listed an approximate price on the repairs as quoted from my trusted mechanic, and whatnot go back and forth. The next day I get a text from him saying, "Are you gonna take all your sh*t out of the car before you sell it to me, or is that my job?" Unwarranted hostility? Really? WTF, man. He's not the only interested party, so I text him back, "I'm not selling the car to you, so don't worry about it." I never said I would sell it to him, he never asked if he was the only interested party, and others were arranging test drives already. I didn't need him and his less than full price, partial commitment. And the sh*t he was complaining about his 3 textbooks and a bag I keep clothes in. 4 things. This guy didn't like to take no for an answer, and starts calling and texting about how my car's paint is peeling. True, but the pics and description said so, and how dare I ask so much, $1,000, for a piece of sh*t car. I started replying for a time, telling him he wasn't going to get the car, that I had other interested buyers, so he didn't need to worry about it, etc. Then things got personal. This site gave you the option to link to Facebook so you could post at both places at the same time. So I didn't have my privacy settings turned down as it was still early into Facebook's absolute reign, and I actually trusted them at the time. Silly me, I know. I hadn't anticipated that he would be able to find my info through the website's post, and find my name, my location, pictures of my kid, my mother-in-law's obit, etc. Surprise me, he did. He starts text me about how I should be ashamed of myself for saying no to him, a muscular dude, and me being a quite round female. He included a picture in one text, and he wasn't the muscular, built man he claimed to be. He looked like a beanpole with 2 of muscles, so WTF, dude? He asked me if I even knew everything about cars or if I made the post while on my period, so I didn't know what I was talking about. He texted that I should be lucky I was already married or else he would come to my house and show me how a real man handles a little b***tch. He got close but didn't have an address, and the way my address pulls up on GPS, he never would find my apartment, thankfully. Small side info, since I was in college at the time and needed a more flexible schedule, I worked as a school crossing guard. Every 2 weeks or so, we'd go in to sign our time cards in order to get paid. This crossing guard gig was a hire though my local PD. Not all crossing guard gigs are the same, but this one was. During one of these visits into the office, I was using my phone while I was waiting for my boss to get to me, my name being low in the alphabet. I hadn't yet blocked the dude as it hadn't been long since this started, and I was hoping it would fizzle on its own. I didn't check my phone in class, choosing to turn it off to avoid ADHDing on it the entire day, and I was often flooded with several hours of texts all at once. What I saw on my phone drove me over the cliff. He started texting about pictures I had posted on Facebook about my 8 or 7-year-old son. He had just majorly crossed the line. The cleanest version of his texts included things like "Your kid is just as ugly as you are." I hope you don't plan on him leaving home to get a wife anytime soon. And how a smudge of dirt on his face from a day at the zoo looked like I beat him. I didn't sell you a car and you're taking out your rage by threatening to or *PM me and accusing me of beating my kid? *LLNO. Apparently, I was loud when I said what I did, because my boss stepped right over to me next and asked what was wrong. Great person. October 10th. What boss again? I told her that I was getting this abusive texts from a rando that tried to buy my car. I told her I was about to erase the texts and block him, but she's like, no, wait, don't do that. Let me see your phone. So happy I didn't delete them because this next part still makes my heart sore. I offer and she takes my phone, reading all the sick and vile things he texted to me. She tells me to wait until she's cleared the lobby of the other crossing guards, so I do. She then tells me to follow her behind the security doors at the PD station, still having my phone. I don't know what's happening, but I liked and trusted her, so I do. I follow her back to her office where she works on her computer, referring my phone on occasion. She asks if all I have is the phone number or if I got his name too. I tell her I only got a first name, and scroll to the text where he introduced himself. And semi-uncomfortable amount of time later, she hands back my phone. Something to mention, my boss isn't just administrative. I didn't know it at the time, but she's a full-on lieutenant in the local PD. She came up the ranks from patrol, moving to a position where she exclusively investigated child/elder/disabled abuse complaints before moving into her current desk position. Needless to say, she didn't take people threatening harm to kids lightly. Because I hadn't blocked the number, I still had the text messages with the dude's name, and she had used it to cross-search him and the phone number. Long story short, she knew exactly who he was. She says not to worry, but don't delete or respond to his texts anymore, she had it. If it got worse, I should call her or 911 is appropriate right away. Unconcerned and happy she had the situation in hand, I leave and go to class. When I'm back to the office to sign my next time card 2 weeks later, I had several unread texts from the guy. I had filtered them so I didn't see them pop up and hadn't read them. I had sold the car, for full asking price, and all but forgotten the entire situation. My boss tells me to wait for her again as she had something else for me to sign, and I again return to her office. She briefly explains what she had for me, what an actionable complaint that she needed me to sign for my issue 2 weeks ago. I remember everything all over again. She must see my face because she tells me not to worry and that she can tell me what's going on more after I actually sign the form. So I do. Dear Reddit, this is the best situation anyone could have asked for. The phone number tied to many people as the provider was known for cheap cell service for those that were desperate for a way to contact people/services/employment. But with the name Matt, again, fake name, she was able to find out who was messing with me. She then got a driver's license, which led to an address, which led to a police report for possible domestic violence. Fall down the rabbit hole some more, and you find out that this dude had 5 kids by 4 women, and he was in arrears on his child support to them all. Hadn't been paying for 10 plus years, and it was in the neighborhood of $30,000-$50,000, if memory serves. But he somehow, just 2 weeks ago, requested title transfer for a new to him, quite fancy old car. I don't remember the kind, but think high-end car show and massive insurance premiums. Being so far in arrears meant that my boss was able to place a seizure order on the car so it could be sold to pay back the child support. One of the baby mamas live in a state where fleeing child support meant you could have a warrant issued for your arrest. When she called the interested parties in that state to see if they wanted her to execute the arrest warrant, they said yes, with much haste. That was a funny turn of phrase, so I always remembered it. One conversation later, and my boss was able to determine that he was using the brother's social security number on his employment forms to avoid child support garnishments. This is all sorts of illegal, so she notified the guy's HR department so it could be corrected. They informed her he would be fired for fraudulently submitting false documents. She then told me that about 4 days ago, she had executed the warrant on the dude for felony child abandonment, and that the state he was to be held for was already en route to pick him up. It carried a 8 to 12 year sentence, and he still had to pay his back child support. I could have dealt with the comment, I could have dealt with the not taking no for an answer, even dealt with the cyberstalking, a little. But, when your twisted mind okays you to bring my kid into the picture, you done crossed the line. If you would have stopped at no, you wouldn't be in jail right now. The perfect outcome would have been for the boss to whisper in his ear, next time someone doesn't want to sell you their car, don't be a little shit about it. Made my day. Snort laugh, thank you. That was kind of the sad part to me, that the guy likely never knew what led to his downfall. Unintentional nuclear. This is incredible. I can't help but think karma is real when I see things like this. People who act like this eventually piss off the wrong person. The funny thing is, by using the wrong social, he might have been committing tax fraud. Throw that on the pile when the IRS figures it out. 10 words or less? Okay. Working as an auto tech in a woman-owned repair shop, I was once asked to explain the problem with a female customer's car to them. I am pretty good at explaining things without using jargon, and usually had no problems doing this. But not with this customer. I started to explain what was going on, but she decided that I was out to bamboozle her. She shoved her hand, palm out, to within an inch of my face and stated loudly, "Stop." I did so, and she said in a very arch tone, "I want you to tell me, in 10 words or less, what is wrong with my car?" I shrugged and said it's broken. Repairs will cost $700, and walked away. She followed, saying, "I guess I need more information than that." I replied that is what I was trying to provide, before you so rudely interrupted me. Now if you will excuse me, I have other work to do. Then I refused to respond to her in any way. This reminds me of the saying, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. That's 13 words. How dare you? Wet parts dry. Dry parts wet. Car is fooped. Bye. As a woman who gets lied to every single time I take my car to the shop, I understand her frustration. Before I got married, I'd ask a male friend to drop off my car. They always got a lower price. Now my husband takes our cars to the shop. The last time I went with him, the guy behind the counter tried to sell me an air filter we didn't need while my husband was in the bathroom. I know we didn't need the filter because he had just changed it at home. Wedding snack down. I was attending my cousin's daughter's wedding. There was a snack bar at the entry area and lots of guests were congregating there, eating and chatting. Few people were getting through to the seating area. So my cousin asked me to get the snack bar shut down. I went there and told the people there to close it down. They said they would do it immediately after serving the people waiting. Okay. I headed back and told my cousin it would be closed in a couple of minutes. He's worried and says, "No, I meant immediately. They have to shut down immediately." Alrighty then. I went back to them, they had already shut down. I went back and told my cousin with a straight face, there were 4 people there. I knocked the plates out of their hands and told them to walk inside. I told them you told me to do it. Shocked Pikachu face. My cousin is a great guy, but he does get a bit worked up sometimes over the small stuff. They weren't moving very quickly at first, but as soon as I pulled out my gun. Don't mind the red stains on the floor. It's just strawberry milkshakes. That's hilarious. Hopefully he settled down after that story. But he might not ask you to do something in the future, so it's a win-win. After some time he realized that I was kidding. But those few seconds were precious. The true grapes of wrath are now spilled on the floor. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.